Your hometown news station, AM 1300 KGLO, KGLOAM.com, as we typically sit down this time of the week with Pete Hjelmstad with the Iowa Department of Transportation. Pete, always good to talk to you.
You as well, Bob.
Well, last week, one of the projects I know we talked about for a while, and that bridge on US 65 around the Rockwell and Sheffield area, getting that all opened up.
Yep, that opened up opened up about 8 days early. So we are hoping to get it open last Friday. And it was just one of those projects where everything fell into place. And it was really nice with that one. And again, unfortunately, not all projects lend themselves to this type of work, but we were able to do, a lot of the substructure work before we closed the road. And again, not all projects we are able to do that, but this one we were. So when we got that thing closed, we already had the big basis of the work done. We had a good spring where you didn't have to worry about water levels so much, because so much of the time spring flooding really delays work with bridges because you're trying to work in the river, and when it gets high you can't do that. So yeah, we got that thing, and we've talked about it before, but I don't always think people realize the coordination that has to go on with subcontractors, because you've got guardrail contractors, you've got contractors who come in and do the painting, you got contractors who come in and we grind the bridges before we're done to make sure they're as smooth as possible. And you've got to coordinate all those contractors coming in when they're needed, as they are also doing jobs, across the state or across however many states with their different crews. So everything fell into place really well. We were able to get that road open up a few days early, and it's ready to go.
And following up on the subcontractors and everything, some people may see a project going on, and this would necessarily just be state DOT projects, any type of construction project dealing with their streets or highways or roads or whatnot. They may see a whole lot of work done, and then may take couple days off, and then crews come back in, and that's just what you just talked about. You've got sometimes those sliding pieces, and they're working on other projects in other places as well, as they're trying to maximize their efforts as well.
Yeah, and we'll put another layer to that. These contracts have either they're set up different ways. Most of them are working days, and some of them are calendar days where there's a hard date.
Right.
And if they are ahead on a certain project, and maybe 3 counties away, they're behind on a project, they will pull crews off of the project they're ahead to, catch up on that other project. And they have that right. Under the contract they signed, they have that right. So yeah, there is so much that goes on with these projects besides ripping up concrete and putting down new concrete. And it's a balancing act. And you start throwing in weather, you start throwing in early/late winters, whatever we're going to get. And yeah, there is really a lot to work around.
Well, talking about ripping up concrete and putting new down, let's talk about the interstate south of Mason City, where it's head-to-head one-lane traffic each way, and it appears that project is making good progress.
It is making good project. You got me saying it now.
I got my tongue twisted. I'll get your tongue twisted too. What the heck?
Yep, it is making good progress. More than likely September 10th, traffic will be out of the head-to-head pattern. It'll probably be one lane in each direction as they do some work in the medians, but that we're looking at September 10th, hopefully, to get that one done. Now the rain has affected that project a little bit now with the paving, because you can't necessarily pave in the rain. So we'll see what Mother Nature does, but yeah, that's what we're shooting for with that one.
Quickly update the 2 projects in Mason City, 65 south end of town, and the 122 around Mercy.
Yeah, we are moving forward with them. Again, you're not going to see a lot of traffic changes. We're hoping within the next week or so to get from 20th to 24th open on US 65 in the south end of Mason City. Now there's a few other things in there that are kind of hanging in the balance, as we discussed just a few minutes ago, that we're waiting on. So we'll hopefully see how that plays out and get that open. And then on 122, again, same thing. It's a lot of the underground work going on right now. Within the next couple weeks, the Pierce intersection will close like it did last year. So we will have the sign detour for eastbound traffic to get to the hospital, just like we did last year, and the clinics in that area. Pierce traffic, you will not be able to cross 122. If you are westbound, you will be able to turn north on Pierce. And if you're going south on Pierce, you will be able to turn west. I'm serious. Sorry, south. Yeah, south on Pierce. You'll be able to turn west on 122. So that will be coming up the next couple of weeks. We'll know more as we get closer to that one as well.
Any other projects that you want to hit on quick?
I guess the other one I really want to touch on quick is the Iowa 9 project from 218 to Riceville. There's going to be resurfacing work hopefully going on this week. So be aware of that there will be a pilot car and flaggers there. And then we are doing a quick HMA or an asphalt project on Business 218, US 18 in Charles City. And that will run from exit 218 on the Avenue of the Saints, which is the furthest east exit. And it'll run north into Charles City, approximately to where the Fairway store is. Should take about a week. So that'll be just a quick grind off the asphalt and put down new asphalt. So be aware of that as well.
Well, if somebody's taking a trip here in the next couple of weeks before school starts, or maybe a Labor Day trip coming up, or, I hate to think about winter weather, but
not yet.
didn't I do the same thing last week?
I believe you did. I'm starting to think you have an issue, Bob.
I do have an issue, a big issue. Anyway, what I was going to say was the 511ia.org website, or the smartphone app that can be personalized, can it? For that, to make it more personal for you when you're looking at different things.
Yeah, exactly. You go up on the top right-hand corner, it'll say My 511, and just click on that. And it's as simple as putting in your email and a password, and you've created an account. And then you can select areas where you want to get notifications. If there's a water line break, and the road has to be closed, or if come winter, if a road is closed, or if the conditions change from partially covered roads to completely covered roads, you can select all of that, and you will get notifications either through email or text messages, however you set it up. Just because I'm so heavily involved with the Lansing Bridge project, we've got the ferry service over there. Right. And weather has been an issue, every once in a while, as far as sometimes wind. Just yesterday, we had to shut the ferry down because of the dense fog. And I selected that area as an area to receive notifications. And I do every time. Actually, I hear about it before I get the notification, but the notification then does come out, and it's a really, really good resource. And like I said, I'm not sure a lot of people realize that you can personalize it for your drive to work or your drive to school. And it's a really, really good option as far as being prepared for what you might get.
So people might want to think about that and get things personalized. And, one other thing maybe we'll talk about before we let you go, the DOT has a podcast that's been going the last few months, right?
Yeah, we started it, like you said, just a few months ago. It's called Roadside Chat, and you can find it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. And, it covers various things, like last fall, I believe it was, we did something, or maybe it was the spring, recapping the winter with our winter maintenance manager out of Ames. And there's a podcast out there on the Lansing Bridge project that our project engineer did. The most recent one, the newest one, is about the state fair and what you can expect to see at the DOT's booth at the state fair. They've kind of got some cool historic things where they're comparing old pictures they've had with the new construction, and it's more or less a slider that you can slide back and forth and just see the differences. So anyway, that podcast is out. It's pretty new. We're trying to build listenership in that podcast, and give it a shot. It's like I said, you can pick it up on Spotify or on the Apple Podcasts.
Well, with my mindset, I better go back to that first one with the winter operations manager.
Yeah, there you go. You'll get an update. Maybe you'll fix a winter for a while, and we can leave it alone for a few weeks.
I will hope that I don't talk about winter next time we visit. So anyway, anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, I think that's about it. You did touch on a really good point with the fact, school's starting pretty soon. I know a lot of the practices are already going for the fall sports, but there's a lot of people trying to squeeze in vacations. And like you said, use that 511 app, use it for different states. I think I said before, my wife and I were on a motorcycle trip over in South Dakota a couple weeks ago now, and I scoured that South Dakota's 511 app to see what I can avoid. So it's very helpful, it's very useful, and it'll make your travels a lot smoother.
Pete, as always, we enjoy it when you're with us, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, enjoyed as well. Thanks, Bob.
All right, you bet. Pete Hjelmstad with the Iowa Department of Transportation here on your hometown news station, AM